Hello students, welcome to my channel and my class of engineering mechanics lecture. So let's start with engineering mechanics lecture. It's chapter number 2, force factors. And obviously one and only your course instructor is Nahid Musharraf. And what are the chapter objectives? So we will discuss over here. I already told you the textbook is what RC Hebler statics portion. So obviously you have to download the book from an internet, or you can Google it as well. But you will find each and every solution in my lecture, so there is no need of to work out so much in the book. But obviously you must read book, so it will increase your knowledge and enhance your and helps you to practice more numericals in this subject. So let's start with the chapter objectives of force factors. To show how to add forces and resolve them into components using the parallelogram law. So we have what we are going to do. We will learn how to add forces and how to resolve them into its components using parallelogram law. Then to express force and position in Cartesian vector form, and what we have to do, explain how to determine the vector's magnitude and direction also. The third point will be that to introduce the dot product in order to determine the angle between two vectors or the projection of one vector onto another. And I am guaranteed, or you can say I'm so sure, that it's all up goes over from your hat. So obviously it's very it's a kind of difficult line. So let me help you to understand it. First, what we will do in this chapter, we will do how to add forces and how can we resolve the forces into its components using parallelogram law. Then what we will do, we will express forces to 2D and 3D forces. Okay, then what we will do, we will express forces and position in Cartesian vector form, and then explain how to determine vectors, magnitude and direction. Then what we will do, we will introduce dot product also, and how can we determine the angle between the two vectors, or the scale, how can we find it out, how can we find out the resultant force as well in this. So first of all, what we have to study, the boy is standing, you can see in this picture, a boy is standing on an arrow, and there are two directions. One is the vector and the other one is the scalar, and he is not decided on which path he has to go. So let's start with the scalar and vector definition. So let's move to the next slide. Oh my god, what happened over here, and what are scalars and vectors? So let's start with this. You can see over here scalar and vectors. A scalar is a quantity that is fully described by a magnitude only because it has no direction. It is described by just a single number. Some examples of scalar quantities included speed, volume, mass, and time. And what about vector? A vector is a quantity that has both a magnitude and a direction. Vector quantities are important in the study of the motion. Some examples of vector quantities include force, velocity, acceleration, and momentum. So what does it mean by that? Speed is a scalar quantity, and vector is what? Weight is a vector quantity because it has direction. So weight is a vector quantity and speed is a scalar quantity. So what is the difference between the two? Speed has no direction and weight has direction, so it is a vector quantity. So I am moving towards the next slide. This is all about the definition of scalar and vectors. This is unit vector. And what is unit vector? A unit vector is a vector that has a magnitude of 1 unit. A unit vector is also known as a direction vector. It is represented using a lowercase letter with a cap sign symbol. Along with it, a vector can be represented in space using unit vectors. So let's go. Unit vector is basically something that is all about direction, which just tells us that in which direction any vector of a specific magnitude is being directed. So what is the vector? Unit vector, it is basically something that is all about direction, which tells us that in which direction any vector of a specific magnitude is being directed. So what we are going to find out, we have to find out unit vector also. So unit vector is a vector which has a magnitude of 1 unit. So it has no unit. So this is the formula for the unit vector, and vector u is equals to vector v upon magnitude of vector v. So you can also write u cap is equals to v vector force a upon magnitude of vector a. So it's up to you. So let me tell you one thing, what will be the formula over here. Let me select the pointer options over here. And this is the pointer option. Let me see this one. So you can also write down like this, u cap is equals to vector A divided by magnitude of vector A. And we represent vector A with a arrow sign. Arrow is at the head of the A, and for the magnitude of A we put modulus sign here. And if you will see, if you are going to see RC Hibbeler, so you will find it out that a vector force is written with the bold letter. So that is mean by that is vector force. So I am moving towards the next slide. And what is that? Vector operations, and how can you do that? So it's a very interesting topic. So let's start with it. Vector A is here, and you can see this is a vector A force, and its magnitude is given to you is A equals to 1.5. So there is vector B here, and it is twice of A, means double of vector A. So its double of A means 2 into 1.5. So what does it mean by that? It will be 3. So its length is 3 meter, whatever the unit you want to take it, so you can take it, but its magnitude is 3. So you can see its length is greater than the length of the vector A. So it is vector B is equals to 2 of vector A. It is twice of vector A. And its direction and vector A direction and vector B direction is same. So you can easily add them because both have the same direction. So when I add them, so what will happen? It will become 1.5 plus 3, so it will be 4.5. So I can easily add it. But this is vector C, but it is opposite in direction of vector A. So what will happen? Its direction will be on the left hand side. So vector C is equals to, it is also twice of A, but its direction opposite to the vector B or vector A. So what can I write it down? Vector C is equals to minus 2 of vector A. And you can see when its direction is same as according to vector A, so it is positive 1. But here is the case that the direction of the vector is changed. Also, what will happen? Vector C is equals to minus 2 of vector A. What is happening next? Vector A is this, A equals to 1.5. So this is vector A, and if this is vector A, so what will happen? Vector A plus vector B will become, when I joined it both of them, so what will happen? Vector A is 1.5 or vector B is 2 magnitude. So what will happen when we add 2 plus 1.5? So it will become 3.5. So vector R is equals to A plus B, but its direction is to the right hand side. Because both have the same direction, so it is easily added. Now the case is changed, and here you can see this is vector A, and its direction is on the right hand side, and vector B direction is also on the right hand side. But what is happening? I have to subtract here vector A minus vector B. So what will happen? The direction of vector B will be changed, and when its direction changed, so magnitude will remain same, but its sign will be changed, minus B. So it will be vector A minus vector B. So D equals to vector A minus vector B. So modulus of A minus B equals to 3.2 minus 1.5 will become 1.7. So this is the way to add or subtract the vector. So this is called vector operations. So you have to do vector operations like this. You can easily add and subtract it, but remember that what is happening over here, the direction can be changed. So when the direction is changed, so you have to be very careful while the direction is changed, and if it is opposite to the right hand side, so what it will become? So its value will be minus. So this is the way to do vector operations. So now I'm moving towards the next slide, and this is axis. I am going to discuss the axis. You already know this. What is axis? So this is origin. you can see this is the origin and this is x and y axis. So this is x axis positive, this is minus x axis, this is positive y axis, and this is negative y axis. So what is this? Is first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third quadrant, and this is fourth quadrant. And if I want to more tell you, what I am going to tell you is here, this is 90 degree. So if it is 90 degree, so what will happen? It is 90 degree. So obviously this is also 90. Each quadrant is of 90 degree. And keep it in mind that when I add these two quadrants, so this will angle will become 180 degree. And this angle is when I add 90 degree here, so it will become 270 degree. When I add 90 degree here, so it will become 360 degree. So keep it in mind. Obviously, you already know this from intermediate. You have already studied it. So it's an undergraduate level. So hopefully you will understand it easily. So I'm moving towards the next slide. And what is happening over here? The vector operations continue. And you can see over here, this is vector A and vector B. I did not change its direction. So I just put them close to each other. So what happened when I make it close to each other? Vector A. So what you have to do, this is vector A. So how can you find out the resultant here? This is vector A, and I will put tail of vector B here. This is the way. This is vector B. And what will happen? I will find out resultant. So let me rub this, and it is already, the figure is already in front of you. So what is happening over here, you can see is that what is happening over here. You can see this is vector A and this is tail and this is head. Wherever the arrow is, that is called head, and this is obviously vector A. So tail of B is here, head joined with the tail of vector B. Then for the resultant, what I have to do, tail joined with the tail and head is joined with the head. So this is the way to add the both the vectors, and we will be able to get the resultant over here this way. So the next picture is what this, hopefully you will understand a lot from this. This is magnitude of 12, and there both of the arrows have direction is on the right hand side. So 12 plus 20 will become 32. So when I added both the arrows, so direction will remain same on the right hand side because both have the same direction. So you can easily add it. And in this line, you can see that the one force is downward and another force is upward. So what I have to do, the downward one will be -6 and the upward one will be +10. So what will happen? 10 minus 6 here. So 10 minus 6 come out 4. So 4 is the positive one. So its direction should be upward. So you have to select it. Whatever you are doing in the addition subtraction. So what you will do, the magnitude which is more than the other one, and whatever the sign of that magnitude, so we will use in the answer. So this is the way. Now you can see this is the horizontal force and this is the downward force, but in this case, we cannot simply add it. What we have to do, we have to attach it like this. This head to tail, and this will be the, let me do that, let me rub it. The better way we will do here is that what is the force you have. Let me select the color. So what you are going to do is that this is your, and obviously on your and the head you have to join the tail, and then you have to find the resultant. So this will be your resultant. So what you have to do, this is 20 and this one is 10. So what you have to do, you obviously you have to find it according to the angle, and you can find out with the Pythagoras theorem. So you can easily apply Pythagoras theorem because one angle is right angle triangle here. This is the case. So let me draw it here. This one will be like this. This one will be like this. So it is 90 degrees. So you can apply Pythagoras theorem over here. So you will get the resultant force. And in this case, obviously you have to apply Pythagoras theorem and you have to make the triangle like this. And for example, let me tell you here, this will be the horizontal force, and on this its head, the tail will be touched, tail will be joined. So what will happen for the resultant head to head and tail to tail? So this is the way you can make it. So this is the diagram you can see over here. So both are the same, but the I have converted the direction, so it doesn't matter. So this is the way you can find out the what you can find out resultant when you have horizontal and vertical forces. You have to add it vertical vector force or horizontal vector force. So I am moving towards what for the next picture. Now this one, this starts from here. This is vector A, and you can see this is vector A. Then there is a head of vector B. This is tail of vector B, and this is head of vector B. Then there is a tail of vector C, and there is a head of vector C. Then there is a tail of vector D and head of vector D. And when you add all these, so you will get the resultant R equals to A plus B plus C plus D. So tail to tail and head to head is joined by this. Adding many vectors, head to tail rule method, obviously you know it. You have already studied. It's just a revision and recall for all of you guys. Hopefully you will understand it. So hopefully it will be clear to all of you as well. So I'm moving towards the next slide. What you have to vector operations continued. You can see vector subtraction is special case of addition. R dash equals to A minus B. So you can also write A plus in bracket. You can write down minus B. Rules of vector addition applies. Vector A, vector B, when you will join it, both of them, so you can make parallelogram method, parallelogram law. And how can you do that? It's if, for example, vector B direction is -1. So you will change its direction opposite to the right to left, and this is inclined vector A up. So what you have to do, you will join this and you will make it. So vector minus vector B, it will be this. Opposite side should be equal. This is vector A. So if you will see this diagram, so this is taking this triangle, this triangle, this one triangle. So this is the triangle in front of you. This is triangle construction. So I'm moving towards the next slide, and what is happening over here? So see, this is 11 kilometer and it is on the north side. You know that there is a picture over here. So let me show it from the picture. So how can I tell you? Let me tell you one thing is that you can see this is the north, this is upward direction north, then there is east, these are the directions. So, and this is south. So 11 kilometer north, 11 kilometer upward north plus 11 kilometer east. So when we both add it, so what will happen? 11 kilometer east here, and this one is the 11 kilometer north here. So tail to head, and for the resultant, what we have to tail to tail and head to head. So what we have to do, we have to find out its resultants by Pythagoras theorem. So we will apply the Pythagoras theorem over here. So 11 square plus 11 square is equals to R square. So this will be the Pythagoras theorem. So we will apply Pythagoras theorem here. You can see under root 242 equals to R. So answer will be 15.6 kilometer equals to, means you can write it down 15.6 kilometer resultant here. So this is the way to calculate it. So I'm moving towards the next slide, and what is happening over here. So let's start vector operations continue. You can see in this picture, this is vector A, this is vector B, and this is vector C. And the angle of vector A is given to us, and angle of vector C is also given to us. So we will make here axis. So what is happening? So first of all, I will draw the line of vector A. This is vector A. So let me change the color of my pointer, and I am going to select this color. No, this is I have already taken it. So what I have to do, I am going to take red color. So this is vector A. We will simply draw it, or it is on the x-axis, positive x-axis. Now what we have to do, we have to take vector B, and vector B is making 35-degree angle with respect to x-axis. So what we have to do, we will go at the head of the point vector A, and we will draw the axis, and we will take 35-degree from here, and we will draw vector B over here. Then what will we do? We will make axis here, and you can see that how much angle is here. This is from negative x-axis, that is 50-degree. So what we will do, we will make 50-degree here, and we will draw the vector C from here, and then finally we will draw the resultant. So this is the way to calculate it, and how this 60-degree comes out, so you can easily calculate it. But right now, what is the main purpose of this vector opposition is that how can you connect the vectors according to the head to tail rule method. So I'm moving towards the next slide, and hopefully you will get bored from this topic, or maybe you will find it interesting. So now there are so many vector forces here, A, B, C, D. So what we have to do, for example, and how can we do a graphical method or polygon method. So for example, this is vector A, and we will move from the vector A now. So we will join vector A, vector B, vector C, vector D. So we will take the direction whichever the direction is given to us. So in the first case, what we are doing to do, this is vector A, then it is inclined upward, so we will take it vector B like this. Then on head, you can see this is going downward, so we will take it downward. Then it is going straight, so we will take it straight, and then we will join it like this is resultant. And in other case, what we are going to do, we are going to start it from vector D, D, C, A, B. So first we will take vector D, so we will take it straight D. Then we will take vector C, it will going down incline. Then we will bring up vector A, and then further it goes on vector B, and then we will find the resultant. So our vector R equals to A plus B plus C plus D equals to. So this is the way together, but you cannot add it simply like this vector addition, because this is not scalar quantity. These are the vector quantities. So this is the way you can make the polygons, and graphically you can connect by the head to tail rule method the vectors. So a bird is flying, and now what I am going to do, how to join vectors. So this is different vector forces you can see here, vector A, vector B, vector C, vector D. And hopefully you will like this activity. You can see this vector A is lying on the x-axis, vector B is inclined, and vector C is on the second quadrant. This is on the first second. Okay, this is in the second quadrant, this is in the first quadrant, and this one is the third quadrant. So let me join it. Vector A will be on the x-axis, you can see. Then we will draw axes on the head of the vector force. Then what will happen? This is vector B. A vector B, then this is axis over here. Now you can see this is vector C here. And then what is happening, and I will draw vector D over here. Now finally we will draw the resultant. So you can see head to head will be joined with it, tail to tail will join it for the resultant only. So this will be R. So next term you can see what I am going to do. This is vector B first. We are taking vector B first. Then we will draw axes at the head of the vector B, and this is, you can see this is horizontal vector A. Then what will happen, we will draw axes, and then we are going to take it vector C. So we are moving towards the different arrangements. So now for the vector B, what will happen? This will be like this. This is vector B. And finally, we will draw the resultant. So this is the way to make it. In the next step, what we are going to do, we are taking D as a first. Vector D as first, then what is next? Then we have vector C here, and then what we have, say, vector B here, and then what is this here, vector A here, and this is what, and this is vector R. So you can see how can you attach the vectors according to the head to tail rule method. graphically. This is the way. So I am moving towards the next slide. Hopefully you will understand this. Thank you so much. Hopefully you will like the video, and thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bye bye. If you have any query and question answer related to the topic, you must tell me. Thank you so much.